Hi, this is Professor Donna Gurley, and I am here to introduce you to the assignment, Genetic Determinants of Health. This assignment will be submitted now, but will also become an important piece of your first integrated or IP project, Personal Determinants of Health. I've created an introductory video about IP1, Personal Determinants of Health. Please watch it before starting this assignment. As you'll see shortly, this is an individual, not a group assignment. Your first assignment, your personal definition of health, will also be incorporated into your IP1 document. The assignment is to complete a genogram of your family. A genogram is a family health tree that depicts physical, mental or behavioral, and relational health. The example that you see here is the genogram of Diana, Princess of Wales, from Great Britain. You'll see that she is represented by the yellow box, along with her name and the dates of her birth and death. You'll also see different colored lines, red, maroon, green, blue, and some blue text boxes with additional information. A word to the wise: the more detail you include in your genogram, the easier it will be for you to complete your integrated project. A genogram includes information on health, which is represented by colors within the box or circle for that specific person. Gender is represented by boxes for males and circles for females. Each person, unless they are alive and healthy, has a diagnosis of their cause of death or what health conditions they had while alive, such as diabetes, hypertension, or obesity. And keep in mind that a person can have multiple comorbidities. You also need to include behavioral or mental health conditions like depression or autism. Having this information and depicting it on your genogram will help you to see your familial or genetic determinants of health as the first piece of your personal determinants of health integrated project. This assignment will only be seen by me and Sandra Handysides, my TA. We consider this information confidential and will treat it as such. You can choose to share this with others, such as family, friends, or classmates, but that is your choice, not ours. When I completed my genogram a couple of years ago, it really made an impact on me. I knew most of the causes of death for my relatives, but seeing it on paper really surprised me. For example, all of the women in my family died of breast or colon cancer, while all of the men died of heart disease, except 3. Those 3 were: 1 died of colon cancer and 2 committed suicide. The 2 who committed suicide were my grandfather's younger brothers, and they took their lives in their early 20s, more than 100 years ago. This information is part of my genetics as much as cancer or heart disease is. And I need to acknowledge it, not be ashamed of it, because this is a health factor for me, whether I have a chemical imbalance or depression or not. So, this means that my genetic health risks, which are depicted by the red circles on this legend, are heart disease, cancer, and depression. The next step in completing your genogram is to characterize relationships as much as possible. These are represented using colors and types of lines. You'll see here a legend that's used to depict relationships within a genogram. When I completed my husband's side of the genogram, I was equally surprised to see how much of an impact alcohol abuse had on multiple generations on his father's side of the family. If you use software that includes health and relational legends, it will be easier for you to complete your genogram rather than creating your own legend. And speaking of software, there are different types of software that you can use to complete your genogram. I used Genopro, which you can see an example here. This has a free 14-day trial period, which means you can activate the software and use it for 14 days for free, which is what I did. However, if you use this software, be sure to gather all the information first before activating your account. Otherwise, time will tick away from you and you will not be able to complete this. Also, most of you have a Mac computer from what I've seen, so be sure that the software that you select is compatible with your computer. We discovered last year that Genopro was not compatible with the iOS or Mac operating system, so be sure to check it first. Things might have changed in a year, so I would be sure to investigate the software that you intend to use to make sure that it's compatible with your computer operating system. Now let's go over some important instructions for this assignment. The first is to include all family members from your grandparents on down, even if they've died. This includes your grandparents and their siblings, your parents and their siblings, you and your siblings, and your children if you have any. Include family relationship dynamics for those with close, distant, hostile, or even abusive relationships. You also need to include abuse issues like alcohol or drugs. Remember, all of this information is important for you to understand your genetic health. Your genogram also must be computer generated, not hand drawn. If you don't use Genopro software, you must include a key or a legend to define your symbols, colors, and lines. And those things depict health and relational factors. Also, save your genogram as a Word document, JPEG, or PDF file and submit it on the due date. This is probably one of the most important things, that you save it as a Word, JPEG, or PDF format so that it can be opened and it can be readable. Lastly, what if you don't know all of your family history? What if someone in your family is adopted or they died so long ago that you can't get this information? Here are my suggestions or recommendations. Fill out what you can. Be as specific as possible with dates such as years. You don't need to necessarily get as specific as day, month, and year, but at least the year. Age and health and relationship data, and you need to do this with each person. But let's say your mother was adopted and you don't know her genetic history. That's okay. Still complete your genogram based on your family. And this would be based on her adopted family. These people are still your family. You may not know any information about the original or the birth parents of that person, of your mother. That's okay. You don't need to include them. Include the people who are considered her family now. But you need to indicate if people are adopted. This information will also help you as you complete your project, your personal determinants of health. Also, you'll come to realize, if you don't already, that even if you aren't genetically related, your family still has a powerful influence on your health. Finally, I'd like you to view this assignment as a scavenger hunt and have fun with it. I'm sure you'll be surprised at how much you learn from your family. Also, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, they are more than happy, at least this has been my experience, they are more than happy to sit down and talk with you and to share family history. Again, view this as a scavenger hunt. Look for this information, find out as much detail as you can. Have fun with it, and good luck. Thanks.